I was just saying this to somebody, like, I'm about to be 25 this year, and I'm like, I was just
that makes me
17 walking around St. Francis. Like, that shit is crazy. It's really crazy.
Did you think Angel's gonna be tough like she is?
Yeah. She was a dog.
Yeah.
She was a dog. Freshman year, that girl was a dog. She acted the same way. She really hasn't changed. I be telling people that. Like, she's been like that. But I didn't know her name was going to be this big. Yeah. But it was NIL. Yeah. It was the Final Four.
Yeah, that's the timing of it.
That is so crazy. And people be talking about her randomly, like, in school and stuff. I don't even say nothing. I'm just listening to what they say. People's image of her is you're either spot on, you love her, or you hate her. Yeah. And I hate that for her because it's like, she will never beat that narrative, ever.
Yeah. She's kind of misunderstood, in my opinion.
What's up, everybody? Here with Off the Field with Isaiah Robinson. We got a special one for you guys today. We got Turk and Mo, former Division I college players. How y'all doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Blessed for y'all to come on the show, man. I'm excited for this one.
And thanks for having us, too.
Of course. My pleasure. So, let's hop into it. It's known as March Madness right now. March Madness, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Who y'all think the biggest sleepers are right now?
Men's or women?
Let's go with men's first.
Men's? Don't shoot me. I love Vermont. I think they have a great team. I think they're a 15 seed who can upset that 2 seed. Women's, I'm way more in tune with the women's game. I don't know, man.
It's tough.
I think Tennessee being a 6 seed is a stretch. I feel like LSU being a 3 seed, they should be way higher.
And they got a tough bracket.
They got a tough bracket.
They got a tough bracket.
I'm trying to think who else.
I feel like USC, you know.
Colorado a sleeper. USC's a sleeper.
Stanford.
Sleeper.
Yeah.
For sure. It's going to be entertaining, though, for
it's
sure.
going to be a good one. It's gonna be
Women's going to be better than the men's, in my opinion.
I think this year, for sure.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
You said Colorado. How you know Colorado girls is like that?
They point guard. She got dreads. I forgot her last name. It starts with an S. But
she's getting busy.
Okay. That's
busy.
right.
And they got a nice big, too.
So who's your favorite watching girls basketball right now? Who's your favorite athlete?
Am I biased? Angel Reese, obviously. That's my dog.
Top dog.
Outside of her, I love Juju. I think that South Carolina got some pieces. Nobody got that, like, I'm the best player on the team, but their whole team is good. So it worked out for them. I like Hannah Hidalgo. I think she's a dog. Young dog, too. She get busy. What you got?
I ain't gonna lie, I like Caitlin Clark.
I feel like that's what everybody gonna say.
That's a go-to, but like, I gotta mention her name. Because she doing stuff nobody ever done before. Like, you gotta give kudos to her.
For sure. So now we going back to March Madness. You know what happened between last year with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark? So what y'all think is gonna happen this year? Do y'all think it's gonna be another rivalry? What's your opinions on that?
I think the tension is definitely still there, especially with how big the tournament was last year for the women's. I don't know if LSU gonna go all the way. Obviously, I'm rooting for them, but I just think that tension is still in the air. I think Caitlin Clark is trying to make a statement. Right, this her last year. She like, I need to win this natty. And what better way to end your story than win a natty? Like,
that's crazy.
She's going down as one of the greatest, so you got to get that natty. So I feel like it's a lot of hype.
I feel like it's going to be good basketball. You know, like, you can't be mad at that. Like, I don't always have favorites. I just love to see the game played well. You know?
Love it.
Yeah.
She actually played with Angel Reese back in high school. Like, do you think she been the same person the whole time? Think she switched up? She always talking trash. That's the narrative. So like,
I played with Angel my senior year. Angel was a freshman, and I feel like she's the same. She was a dog then. She a dog now. I just think she's on a bigger spotlight. And Angel is competitive, and I think that's what everybody doesn't see about her. They just go all the way to that she's cocky narrative or she talks trash narrative, but she's competitive, and you love that for the game because that's what the women's game lacked for a lot of time. So to see it live and see people tuning into it, that's probably my favorite part. But she's been the same. You got to know her to love her, for real.
I feel like from the DMV, like, girls basketball, women's basketball is a big thing in this area. Like, that's what we all used to playing. Like, that's the playing style on the women's side on this side. And every other city or state, it might not be that. But from here, that's how we get busy. So it's like that's just how she used to play, and that's just a style from this on the East Coast, I guess. Yeah.
See, I actually made it out the DMV, made it to college. So what was it like growing up playing in the DMV?
DMV was competitive. So when I moved to Maryland when I was 8, and I played with Adidas Team Maryland. You know them, Johnny Mack. If you know, you know. But I'll say like DMV, just it's that swagger. It was like a way of life. Like everybody knew everybody, and you only know like how it go if you live here and you're from here. Especially coming in from a different place. I was from Virginia, like deep Virginia. So it's like it was just different, and you know it. Like DMV supports DMV girls. We love DMV basketball, and that's just that.
What about you, Mo?
So for me, I moved up here at 9. So like when I first got up here, like basketball actually wasn't in the public schools. Like it had just got cut, so they didn't have any extracurricular. So it was gone for a year, and then I finally got into it and was able to play. And so like it was just like, who's this girl from Georgia? Who's this girl from Georgia? And then from there, I kind of just found different people. But like it gets busy. Like it's a lot of politics. Like it's a lot of resources. Like I feel like the DMV got like a good range of like so many options for you as a woman, as a girl athlete growing up, you know, to put you in the best position. And it's only grown since then, so it's good to see.
So y'all talk about politics. Let's talk about, y'all been in high school and y'all been in college. What's the different politics and things y'all seen in high school versus college? Let's talk about that. People don't know about the politics in college.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Okay, so starting with high school, I feel like obviously if you're a big time name with big time offers, everybody gonna know you, and that's respectfully so. I do think that hidden behind that though, there are some underdogs in there that you don't think about, and I think college gives them that opportunity to make a name for themselves. Politics in college, it's a different story because obviously you go to these schools and these universities, you make a name for yourself. So I feel like there's a lot that goes into that people don't see behind closed doors. It could be the coaching style, it can be the playing style, it could be maybe you got a coaching change, you had to transfer. So all of that goes into politics. I feel like regardless though, my head especially in college was keep the main thing regardless of what's going on around me. Just keep the main thing. I'm here to play basketball, get my education. Everything else gonna control itself.
What about you, Mo?
So, from a young age, I played on like high circuits.
Heck yeah.
So like
she was big time.
Middle school, I was playing EYBL team, Fairfax Stars. We was driving from PG all the way to Fairfax for me to just play on that high level and be on their Nike team. So that's kind of where it first started. And like when you're a top performer, like of course like you kind of get special treatment and stuff like that. But as a kid, you don't realize like that's the politics of it, you know.
Right.
And so like it's just a lot of stuff that come along with it. Then I played for like a smaller team, and I think that's where I really got the chance to develop and like really get into my scoring bag. I was still playing for Bishop McNamara like in high school for my first 3 years. So I was playing at WCAC, which I feel like is one of the top conferences.
It is for sure
for basketball. And so like that within itself is politics. Like you got to learn how to, you know, go to a Catholic school, you know, coming from a public background, you know, deal with all of this stuff, and then you're held to a certain standard, but you also have resources. So it's like, it's a lot of stuff that come with it. I mean, for me, I feel like looking back, I just was like locked in on trying to play basketball and get as good as I can get. So I wasn't really paying too much attention to the noise, but like I knew it was noise, you know, like, and then college, I feel like the politics you see more in AAU, like on a high school level, but college, man, like I had a tough time, I ain't gonna lie. And so like I went to Georgetown, and I found out later like it was some crazy stuff that went on with my recruitment process with them that was above my head as a kid, like coaches being paid to like get me in the door, stuff like that. So it's just like politics is, you know, it is what it is, and like I still got my degree, so it's like I got what I came to get, and you know, it just is what it is, I feel like.
Feel that. Yeah. So this is off the field, right? We're going to talk about all the off the field things that goes on being an athlete. So, like, a lot of times now NIL deals, they're out here. So, now players getting paid, coaches getting paid. So, any stories that y'all had that y'all noticed, like, wow, this ain't right, but it's about to happen. It don't matter. You feel me?
So luckily, well, kind of not luckily, honestly, but NIL came along my last year playing, so it was still fresh. But obviously, you see and hear about stuff from people who are dealing with it now, and you see it and you're like, well, that's not really supposed to happen, but I guess it can happen now, especially with the whole NIL thing. But also with my experiences, I went to a low D1 school. You don't see too many NIL deals in low D1, so I didn't really deal with the whole NIL thing or things in terms of seeing bad things happen with it. But Mo may know more.
So like at Georgetown, I feel like what a lot of people don't know, we're still getting paid, like, to play. Like, I feel like that's another thing people don't realize. Like, we always got a check. It wasn't like, it depended on the school you went to. Yeah. Because I went to 2 schools. Like, James Madison, even though they're a mid-major, they're, like, top mid-major, especially on the women's side. They top of the line. But at Georgetown, like, we got paid, but it might be, like, every semester they cut us a big check type of thing. Okay. On top of, like, everything else being paid for. But, like, image and likeness, like, you can't even bring a trainer, outside trainer to the gym without there being like compliance. Like, no, can't do that. Like, if you training with somebody on the summertime, don't let them take no pictures. Like, you like, it used to get crazy like that. Crazy. Like, you know, so I mean, to each his own. Like, to see, I'm glad like players are getting the opportunity to make money off of their own names, because you know, them universities do make millions and millions of dollars off of them and like what they contribute. So I feel like it was no way they could keep up with it with social media. I feel like social media was the big game changer for them to have to pass that.
But another thing is, you don't realize until you walk out the door, like, especially how much money that these programs have. They have tons and tons of money to pay athletes to put back into the program. You don't really know where the money go. You kind of got your speculations, but it's like, well, I'm here, I'm playing, let me just shut up, duck my head and keep on going.
My scholarship $80K, so I guess that's enough. But like, you know, like, I don't know, it's changing. I'm glad it's changing. Yeah. I'm glad it's changing. I'm interested to see like how it develops over like the next 5 years though.
For sure. And it's funny that you said that, because around COVID time, I was coaching at a high school, right? And one of the he was like one of the #1 recruits in the nation, so all the schools wanted him, and they was like, yeah, we're gonna get your mama a house, we're gonna do this, $55K, whatever you need. I'm over here, I'm like, what was all this in high school? Like, what? Ain't no way. So then he ended up committing to the school, and then he decommitted because another school gave him even more bread. I'm like, yo. So now it's like these high school coaches are low-key becoming agents for their athletes.
Exactly.
So it's really crazy how you see it now. And it's like, man.
That's been going on though for years, like under the table. Like, we can't speak too much on it, but like, it's definitely been going on for years.
Especially you play football, so football generates way more revenue. I mean, obviously women's basketball is on the come up, but I think it's like way more amplified now too, just because the whole NIL thing. So it's like, it's obvious. And at the end of the day, regardless of what we want to think, college sports is a business, and people are making millions of dollars off these athletes who perform on the daily. So it's like, that's just what comes with it.
Yeah.
And now since Nick Saban, he gone out the game, I can give a little bit of his things I know about him. Alabama players, they used to get Dodge Chargers off the lot for $1.
I heard about that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But you know how they flip it now? They sign deals with car dealerships. Like,
it's crazy,
trucks
man.
and stuff. That's wild.
Like, I know a few people that played in college or whatever has an NIL deal with like Chevy of, I don't know, a place, and they walk on there and they can get a Charger straight off the lot, just off them signing a paper and saying, okay, I got an NIL deal with you.
And it's crazy now because like agents because you know I know a lot of athletes, agents be hitting me up. It's like, yo, Zay, tell this guy I got a Southwest Airlines deal for him. I'm like, you trying to give him a private jet?
No, they are.
Yeah. So now they flying all over the place. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
But when you think about sports, like, it touches so many other industries.
It does.
Like, so it's like, it's such a revenue space. It's crazy. But I feel like it's gonna be good for like inner city kids and kids that come from low socioeconomic backgrounds, just building themselves up. Like, they got to bring the financial literacy part along with it too, because they're gonna touch money they never, you know, been able to touch, and even maybe before, if they don't go pro, you know, like they'll still be able to be in a position where they can help their families and stuff.
And you such an important part. One of my favorite things, financial literacy. All the athletes come talk to me if you need help with financial literacy, because you don't want to get screwed over just like how they did in the NFL, NBA, just because you're young. You don't know anything about money. So it's kind of tough and it's kind of hard to navigate when you got all these people trying to use you. And it's like, they just use you for yourself, because after you're done with college, they ain't going to be knocking at your door trying to help you out no more. So it's really like a system, but now you're just getting paid to be in the system. So now that's crazy.
Exactly.
Facts.
So going back to Caitlin Clark, whoever thought that is our reason of a white girl can't be stopped pulling that Steph Curry? Like, who would have thought that?
I mean, she's different.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way to describe her but different. Like, and she's changing women's basketball just off the fact of the type of shot she makes, the amount of points she scores, her impact. She brings the whole city of Iowa out every single game.
Yeah.
Like, it's generational, truly, and I'm so glad we get to watch it, like, firsthand. Like, eventually we're gonna tell our kids, I watched Caitlin Clark when she was in college, and she was this, and that. So it's just like, I mean, you got it. She's a pioneer right now. That's what you got to see it as.
It's crazy. Like, it just made me happy. You know, like, as a former player, like, it made me happy to see, like, the world appreciating women's basketball, because it's like, man, if you know, you know. Like, the girls' side been getting busy, like, for a while, and the game's continuing to evolve. So it's I'm glad to see, like, people are in position with the media and all that stuff. I feel like what made a big change too was, like, what exposure was, like, when they had NCAA. Like, social media, you can't hide anything.
Nope.
So when the women were complaining about their meals in comparison to the men's, I feel like that changed the whole rhetoric. Because we got Title IX, you know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff going hand in hand. Like, you can't really hide.
Right.
You can't hide. Like, social media had too big of an influence.
I be thinking, though, like, the people that came before. So, like, even like us, obviously, we're a little smaller, but, like, there were some dogs that came before Caitlin, and, like, the Angels and the big names that their college careers kind of went under the rug, but, like, they deserve their flowers, like Arike or, like, Skylar Diggins, Kelsey Plum, Breonna Stewart.
Yeah.
I was literally thinking about somebody on Twitter earlier talking about Breonna Stewart. She won 4 natties in 4 years. Like, that's insane. That's unheard of, because they were arguing, like, oh, Caitlin Clark's best player ever to play college basketball. I'm like, 4 natties in 4 years, 4 national players of the year. Like, that's different.
4 national players of the year.
Yeah, and that just goes to show, bro. Production, like, that stuff matters. Like, exposure really matters. Like social media changed everything. Like, even with, like, we used to have pass the ball. People don't even know what pass the ball is no more.
It's like that was like our social media outlet.
That was like our ball is life for the women's side.
Or like our overtime.
Yeah. Like, now that stuff evolved, so, like, it's more exposure. People know these kids before they go to school, so they bring a following with, you know, like, it help. Everything is helping everybody, honestly.
So let's talk about the exposure, right? You got college basketball, right? But sometimes when they go to the WNBA, they fall off. So it's like, right now, it's like all eyes is on college basketball. Like, you play with Nia Clouden, right? She was balling up at Michigan State. Then when she got to the WNBA, it's like the publicity went downhill, you feel me? So how, if you was an athlete, would you stay in college or would you go to the WNBA?
So,
you gotta stay regardless.
If it was my opinion, I would stay just for what college can give you. Again, they can give you degrees nobody can take from you, the experiences, the friendships. That's what college is for, in my opinion. But speaking on Nia, first of all, Nia, she a dog. If you don't know her, she's a dog.
She a dog.
But when she got to W, this speaks for a lot of different women in the W too. Like, the exposure decreases when you go. I just think that that's evolving just like college basketball is. Viewership is out of the world for W, even though it's nowhere near college. But when these girls go to the league, they're going to bring these fans with them. Correct. And they're going to bring the viewership and the exposure, and they're going to be followed, and money's going to be there. So it's like, all that's going to continue to evolve, and we get a front row seat for the next 3, 4, 5 years. It's going to be like, Wow.
It's gonna be crazy when you look back. Like, we came a long way.
People's best investments right now would be WNBA teams. Ask Las Vegas owner. He's making millions off the Aces because he recruited the right people. And put them in the right place. And that's what it takes. Somebody to invest in it.
Yeah. Management goes a big way. I feel like just like we said, like from high school to college is politics. From college to pro, anywhere it's politics.
It's politics. You don't know how many people I've heard say the physicality of the W is going to be too much for Caitlin, or Angel won't be able to get as many rebounds. Like, first of all, they haven't even made it there yet. But second of all, like, it's all politics at the end of the day. People going to talk.
Who are the top 2 duos that y'all got, that you girls see in the WNBA for March Madness that y'all like to see?
Ooh.
You got a couple of hits. You got Caitlin Clark and Hannah Stalky, yeah. Caitlin Clark and Hannah Stalky. You got Juju Watkins and her big man, Angel Reese and Anissa.
Like that.
And you got Camilla Cardosa. You just got a whole bunch of people right now, like y'all said.
She got like a little squad behind her. Like, Camilla's is different.
Yeah.
Best duo. It's a few. If we talking guard post that can impact a tournament, Flau'jae, Angel, obviously.
Flau'jae been balling.
She been hooping.
She been balling. I feel like she been playing some of her best basketball. Like this last kind of stretch, she been balling.
I'm trying to think. I think that one that's underrated, J.C. Sheldon and Cody McMahon. They gonna go crazy. They play for Ohio State. That's an underrated one. In the W though, I feel like now the W trying to copy the NBA with the whole super team thing. So there's a few duos, like
a lot of trios.
It's like trios, quadruples. It's like I think walking in, Caitlin Clark, Leah Boston gonna be a good duo. I think Melissa Smith is that third piece for them. Obviously Vegas, they got a whole starting 5.
Yeah,
Kelsey, Asia, Chelsea.
Anybody can get it cooked at any position. Anybody can drop 20 and 10.
Dallas got Arike, they got Tierra McCowan, they got Kalani Brown. That's a good trio. They got a lot of pieces.
For the W, I want to see, like, I know, like, vets want their money too. They ain't done playing, but like
they need
it's time.
They need a lead.
Let the generation. You like pave it forward. I feel like, but it's tough because like you want ball forever. If you feel like you keep getting buckets, man, you want ball forever. But
especially as the game's changing, because you change right with it if you're part of it. So it's like I see it because they're gonna get more money, more this, more that. But I agree that they gotta pay it forward.
So this is outside of college. Now you're a high school coach, right? So how do you see the game? Do you see it in a different lens? Do you see like what's the view for you now?
It's crazy because I was just talking to somebody like this, and I was like, I've been a part of both. I've been in front of the whistle, and now I'm behind it. So it's like I see it, and a lot of stuff that like my coaches would say to me or tell me, I'm like, I'm begging these girls to do those same exact things, and you don't get it though until you're done with it, until it's behind you, until like you can't really redo it. And I keep telling them, my favorite quote to a lot of my girls is, the ball gonna keep bouncing until it's not bouncing anymore. Like eventually it's gonna stop, and it's gonna come on a random day in a March when you're done hooping, and it's like, dang, like I'll never really play competitively again. So it's like I always just tell them, like, be grateful for where you're at right now, because it's a lot of girls that like wish they could be in your spot, that wish they had these opportunities, or like coaches that care and things like that. But I love coaching. I love the fact of I can, again, like Mo said, pay it forward and give back to the game that did so much for me. Like I went to school for free, and that's really my main thing.
So, what's your passion outside of sports, and how did you guys find it? Girls find it?
I'll let Mo talk first. Hers is a little more obvious, and then I'll speak on mine.
For me, like my career ended like suddenly, unexpectedly. Like I had a lot of concussions growing up, like through basketball. Like in 8th grade, I had 3 in a year, and it's always because I was playing up, and so I was playing it like I was clumsy a little bit because it's like I kind of like I ain't like
clumsy walking.
You know, like I ain't have my body all right. I'm like. And I was super athletic, so like they would just put me on the floor. So sometimes I'd be playing the 5 even though I'm only 6 foot. You know what I'm saying? Like I really need to be at the 3 or the 4, but I play the 5 because I can out jump anybody. And so like young, I'm playing against big girl going to Baylor. 250,
you
6'5", and I'm holding it down. No, don't get me wrong, I'm holding it down. You feel me? But it's like that's kind of like the challenge I had. I used to get knocked around a little bit, so. I had 3. I had to see a concussion specialist, young everything, but they cleared me to go play again, and I was fine pretty much through high school. And like in college, I maybe had a couple here and there, but nothing too crazy. But my grad year at JMU, I was coming off a foot injury, so I just feel like I wasn't in the best shape. And so I probably should have took my COVID year and sat out, but I was just like, nah, I want to play. And so without being in the best shape, I ended up getting hurt, diving for a ball. Like kind of like shoulder to head.
Oh wow, okay.
And that put me down for like 9 months. Like didn't know what was wrong with me. Like whole bunch of things. I had to see a neurologist. I got diagnosed with this whole like kind of like a brain condition in a way. And so like for me, they told me it was still okay for me to play. I'm like, y'all bugging. Y'all are bugging. Like what? Still play? Like nah, I'm good. Like I gotta put myself first because I know eventually basketball gonna stop.
Right.
And so like. Cool, that happened, and like I don't know, throughout life, the way I've always been able to express myself, I've always been like super creative, like outside of basketball. But I didn't really feed that part of myself because like I was playing basketball. Like it's you gotta dedicate literally 99.825%. You barely get 1% of your time for yourself. So like that's what I was doing for so many years, and so like. When I go through stuff, like I always would write. So I used to write poetry, like nobody knew, or a couple people knew, but nobody really knew.
I knew.
And so like, if you was close to me, you knew type of thing. And I would like experiment. We had a manager, he used to DJ. Shout out Sean, bro. We had a manager, he used to DJ. And he used to make music too. Like I used to shoot his music videos. Like I used to do videography and photography like for a long time, and then I just got in front of the camera, long story short. But he used to have me like record songs and stuff, but I didn't really think nothing of it, like whatever. And then I don't know, like everybody just kept telling me like, bro, just try it. Like why not try it? Like the worst thing come, you're not gonna like it. And ever since then, I'm just like I've been locked in on it. Like I love it. Like it's I feel like it was a big part of myself I wasn't serving, and like it became like a peaceful thing for me and like therapy for me to like outlet for my feelings and stuff like that. So it just naturally kind of happened through like a bad situation, I guess.
It's crazy because I believe in God. So like when one door is shut, another one gonna open, right?
Every time.
And it's funny that you said that because as athletes, you really don't have no time off. So it's hard to find yourself when you're actually all in the sports, you feel me? So that's definitely a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
And also, like you said, injuries is something huge, right? It's like athletes always go through injuries. Did that affect your mindset going throughout your journey? How did all that occur for you?
Definitely was tough because like basketball has been one of the most stable things a part of my life for so long. So like not being able to play like and trying to work through it, like it was just something I didn't want to come to terms with for a while. But like what I did was I used the resources at my school. Like that's something that like kind of being at Georgetown had taught me before I went to James Madison. Like use your resources. So like they got free counseling for us as athletes. So I was like, as I'm kind of figuring out like it's something going on, I don't really know what it is. Let me start preparing myself mentally and emotionally, like talking to a therapist, preparing myself to like stop playing and kind of sort through some stuff. So for me, that helped me process it. And so my coaches, I still had an extra year, so it wasn't like I completely just went cold turkey. Like I was still around the team for like a year and another season, so it gave me time to like say my just goodbye. Yeah.
Definitely understand that. What about you, Turk? How did you find your passion outside of sports?
So I could say different than Mo, like she had a preparation kind of period before she just dove straight into what she wanted to do. Like I feel like this is across athletes everywhere, especially ones from college. When you're done playing your sport, like there's like this period where you don't know what you're gonna do.
Facts.
It's like you're kind of lost. You've never really been in the real world. You've never really had to probably like pay a bill, get a job. You've never had the time to do so because you dedicated your whole life to sports, like whatever sports you play. I could say like coming out of college, I didn't really have a passion. Like there was nothing I really wanted to do, but there was a few things I loved. And one
that's why I made Off the Field, really just for a platform for people to tell their stories, because people's stories are powerful. And it's just like it helps a lot of people when you don't know.
Exactly.
A lot of people
You
going through
never
the same
know,
thing.
yeah.
No, you really don't. Like,
You never know. You're still like, I had people DM me like, bro, how did you move so fast after basketball into something else? And I'm like, it looked like that, but boy, I was down bad. Like, if you was in my life, you know, like that it looked like this, but it's not like. And like, you gotta give yourself grace.
Yeah.
but that's the thing with social media. People make it look good, but there's people that put in hours and hours of work, hours and hours of like they went through something. Like, you never know, for real.
I think that's why streaming is kind of getting cool too, because it's like that day in the life. Like, it gives people like a way to like humanize you, even on social media. Like, even on social media, everybody posting their good moments, but like you still get to see like, oh, you just like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just like me, bro.
For sure.
Especially after playing sports and athletes, I looked at it like, oh my goodness, y'all this. But it's just like these everyday people at the end of the day too. So it's just like it gets clouded. It gets clouded by the light, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
But I wanted to ask you, how did you find your passion outside of sports?
So it wasn't a light switch. Like, it was more so like a gradual build up. But I knew like what I liked. So I've always liked clothes. I liked seeing other people in pieces or designers or whatever. And anybody who knows me knows I've always been pretty fashionable. Like, I like to buy stuff. I always look the part. So it's like, I like styling. I tried the whole making clothes thing, and I don't think it was for me. Like, it's a creative room where I like to take other people's stuff and make it mine. And I think that's the space styling gives me. It gives me a form of like originality. It gives me a form of like expression. Fashion is like expression, like talk without talking. Like, I walk in a room and you can already tell who I am or what I enjoy doing. So it's something that I found. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get into actually styling people. Maybe one day. I don't know.
So.
Me too.
Fingers
I'm not
crossed.
gonna not let her. I'm not gonna.
It's crazy because I've had pros reach out to me. I swear, y'all. I swear. Pros reach out to me like, can you style me? Can you style me? And I've tried it, but it's like, I love it, but it's like I'm so hard on myself. I could critique myself, so it's like I'm holding my own self back, to be honest. So we'll see soon.
I feel like that's a battle for everybody. Though.
Yeah.
Like, when you start trying something new, and then like bringing it back to like the sports, like the reason why we probably was so good is because like we had a standard for ourselves, or we was striving for perfection. Even though you know it's no such thing as perfect, but like because you have a standard for yourself, sometimes like you gotta find a way to give yourself grace along the way. There's nothing wrong with that, but like you gotta fail gracefully because that's how you keep succeeding. Like, it's the only way.
Facts. And I'm gonna be the first one on the podcast. I want you to be my
You know I got you.
Yeah.
You know I got
How
you.
we get to the trivia part? Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
I'm gonna leave
I'm
the
ready.
valedictorian over here.
So I'm gonna be a challenge, right? 3 questions. Yep. I'm gonna go back and forth. So we're gonna be between y'all two.
Alright.
Alright. Which legendary coach holds the record for the most NCAA men's basketball tournament? You got. I'm gonna give you the schools. You got UNC, Duke, Villanova, and Kentucky. I'll let
Gotta
you go
be
first,
Duke.
okay, Duke. Yeah, you got that
Long
one right.
name, Coach K. Yeah,
Coach
Coach
K,
K.
yeah.
For sure.
Here you go. Who was the first team to win a back-to-back NCAA men's basketball tournament in the 21st century? You're going to have Florida. You got Houston. You got Villanova.
Villanova.
Villanova?
All right, let me hear the first one.
Is she
Let me hear the
right?
first
Is she
one.
right?
All right, I say, I'm going to give you the first one. You got Georgia.
In the 21st century.
21st.
Basketball?
Basketball. Men's basketball.
Villanova. That's
Villanova,
wrong.
Villanova's in the 90s. But it's the
Dang.
21st was Florida.
Florida?
Mm-hmm.
What
I
was
didn't know-
I? Yeah,
I
I
didn't
must have missed
Look, I
that.
didn't know
It
that
was
one.
2006 and 2007.
Oh yeah, I was
You was young back then.
somewhere running around.
What school holds the record for the most consecutive NCAA men's basketball tournament appearance? You got Kansas, Villanova, UCLA, or Alabama?
I wish this was women's. I would know it. Tennessee. But can you give me my options one more time?
You got Kansas, Villanova, UCLA, or Alabama?
Kansas.
Okay, 2 for 2.
Hey!
2 for 2. Oh man, I feel like I'm doing you all the hard. In what year did the NCAA women's basketball tournament expand into 64 teams?
What year?
What year? You got 1998, 1994, 2002, or 2004?
94.
Correct, 94. Yes, sir.
You see, you got process elimination, kids. That's why y'all gotta be on your homework. Y'all gotta do your homework.
There you go. What school holds the record for most NCAA basketball tournaments championships for women's? You got
UConn.
Damn, I can't.
That's no brainer right there.
They got like something team. Like it's a lot.
Which teams has the most national titles in the history of NCAA basketball tournament? Kentucky, UCLA, North Carolina, or Indiana?
It's men's.
Yeah.
You think North Carolina? Wait, repeat the options again.
Kentucky, UCLA, UNC, or Indiana? I think this is, I'm sorry, let me repeat it. I think this is men's and women's.
Okay.
So
Combined?
Combined, yeah. So which team has won the most national titles in the history of NCAA tournament?
I don't know this one.
Combined is crazy.
UCLA, UNC, or Indiana?
I'm gonna go UNC.
UNC, UCLA.
That's
shocking.
Guess, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Appearances though?
Nah.
Ships.
Yeah, ships.
Now that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
In the 90s, it was probably getting
I'm about to say it's probably getting for sure. Now we're going back to the interview. What was the defining moment of your college career that made you realize, like, yeah, I can do this college stuff. Like, I'm in the door. Like, this is me.
This is a hard one. I feel like I had a few moments, but I feel like I'll never forget. I think it was my sophomore year. I played at Mount St. Mary's. Big game. Robert Morris came into our place. They were top of the conference, won the conference for a few years in a row. Starting point guard go down. I think she was hurt that day or maybe sick or something. We're like, we ain't got a chance. And I'm like, nah, we gotta win this. So I was a starter, but at that point I was kind of more like a role play starter. So like I was probably like the third or fourth option on offense. Like everybody else kind of got theirs, then it was me. And that game, I think I had like 23 and 7 and 5, or it was something crazy. But the best part was I had the game winner basically to get us over the top, and we won against Robert Morris. They was playing at our place, and I think that was like my moment. I was like, I can do this. Like I can be that player for this team if I really put my mind to it.
Love it. What about you, Mo?
I'm trying to pick one.
It's a lot.
Like just to give background, like as a freshman, bro, I had to get my stuff together. I ain't gonna lie. Like when I came to Georgetown, like coming from Riverdale, bro, we was just playing basketball.
Yeah,
like like that's a basketball school, like bro. Shout out to the teachers and all that, but like y'all know, we was there to go play trips and yeah. So like going to a school like Georgetown, where the academics is so high, like I had to like adjust to getting back accommodated to that stuff again. So my freshman year, I did struggle like here and there dealing with that. And I feel like my sophomore year, that's when I really started to break out. Like we had a coach change and some more stuff internally, but like I feel like I was finding myself at that point. Like even though I was coming off the bench as a 6-man, I was playing starter minutes, and I was still like pretty much included into like the scoring. And like when I feel like one of my favorite plays is just like that year I was catching like hella oops.
Lobs. Mo was like, throw it up, Mo gonna catch it.
And one, like just bringing that energy from the bench. And I feel like it was this one guy, he worked on like the production side for us, but he worked with the women's side a lot. And one day, like I guess it was his last day or something, he came to me, he was like, yo, I'm gonna see you in the WNBA. He gave me a little fist bump, and I'm like, oh man, maybe I can. Like, I can do this.
Look, somebody believe in me.
I can do this.
That's good. So what helped you make that transition from Riverdale to Georgetown into schooling?
You ain't got no choice.
Look,
like it's that simple. Like either you're gonna get your stuff together or they're gonna replace you. Like it's they're not playing around. So like I stayed in this summer school. Like I was stuck there. Like I didn't leave. Like I did my summer school, got my grades up, and then I feel like I was in a business program too as a freshman. So like that's one of the hardest schools. McDonough Business School is top line. So like there's classes where a C is a fail grade.
Wow.
Like you gotta get a B
As
or
an
higher.
undergrad?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Because they're trying to weed people out. Because typically, like, if you statistically showing, like, if you graduate from the business school, you're supposed to be guaranteed a 6-figure job when you graduate. Like, that's how they have it set up. So it's like they like to weed people out, and I was just struggling. Like, bro, I got a 79.8. Like, like, come on, look out. No. So like, you just gotta. I feel like if you want to, you will, and like they do have resources there. Like my academic advisor, me and him grew a good relationship over time, and like my professors, like summer school at Georgetown is very chill. During the year, it's a whole nother story. So like you just gotta learn the system and like use it for yourself.
So you mentioned like if you ain't get your stuff together, you out of there. So that's cutthroat, right?
Yeah.
So when did you guys realize like college sports was actually a business and not just like high school, like they just played the game?
My freshman year.
Yeah, when you walk in the door.
Campus,
you walk in the door. And I think it was reality check. No, it could be for anybody, but reality check for me was when you walk in the door and like your name no longer holds weight. Like they don't care who you are and where you came from. It's when you're there, you're now part of them. They're gonna do what they want to do because you play on this team and they're handing you a scholarship. So like your name don't hold any weight anymore. Like yes, you matter to them for the most part as people, but like to them you are a commodity, like a hot commodity. You're like, I'm gonna use you for what you're gonna give me. So if you can give me 20 points a game, I'm gonna love you. But if you give me 0, you're just gonna sit. I'm gonna still love you, but I can't use you.
I also feel like, I guess when you get in, like you got media training. Like for us, we got media training. We got do's and don'ts on social media. We got all this stuff. Like they make it very clear to you that like you are no longer just a representation of yourself. You are representing a bigger brand, and like you gotta wear that with pride. Like it's just a whole bunch of stuff that I feel like goes into, especially going to like Georgetown. But like like you gotta know what you doing, or they'll get rid of you. Like they ain't playing around with people.
Right. That's crazy. Dang.
Yeah.
So first week they had you as social media do's and don'ts.
Yeah, like we have training at 3 p.m. Everybody be there. It's like, dang, you just listening. It's like, oh my God.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So how did your experience in college shape you to like your outside skills like leadership and coaching now, perspectives on both outside and on the court?
So this can be long-winded, but I'm gonna make it very short. College sports in general teach you every life skill you need to know. Your best experience is playing a college sport. Time management, respect, accountability, showing up for not only yourself but for the person next to you. So like all these things, like these are what you need daily in life, and I didn't realize it till I left. I didn't realize it till it was time to get a job, and like you see other people around you and they may lack like time management or organization or being accountable or discipline or doing their job, or even like that whole perfectionist mindset, like we want to get it right. I feel like that's something that's ingrained in like every athlete. Like it just clicks. So I feel like every single life skill you need to know is ingrained in college sports, and it's just natural. You learn it naturally. And if you don't, you probably aren't a college athlete anymore.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Agree. I feel like, like for me, like especially working in sales now, like it's a team environment, but it's a competitive because it's based on your individual performance. So it's very similar to like playing basketball. And like a lot of things I feel like people don't understand. Like for me, going to Georgetown, I had a lot of international teammates. So like it's cultural barriers, it's communicational barriers. You have to be able to work through those things and still achieve a common goal. And I feel like that's what definitely makes college athletes like so sought after in the business world, because like it's certain things we just understand because you had no other choice but to do it, Right. And so I feel like you don't, those skill sets aren't always found in certain environments. So like it's a blessing in disguise.
But it's weird though, because I feel like if you talk to other college athletes, like they all just get it. It's like a telepathy. Like we all get it. Like we know exactly what we're talking about. Like lift at 6, breakfast at 7, class at 8, practice at 10, another lift at 11. Like it's just like you get it, and you know like that adaptability of college athletes. Like it's like we're all connected somehow.
Yeah. I also feel like one thing, like when we was talking about identity, like that point of like having somebody else schedule your day, like when that is gone, when that structure is gone,
That's
trying
funny.
to adjust, like, oh, like I need to go work out. Like, you feel me? Like even now, I'm just now I feel like in a place where it's like I have my regimen. You feel me?
I'm
Like,
still not there.
and it's like it's not perfect either,
Yeah.
but it's like, bro, like when you have somebody that's already planned out your day, like you have to learn how to put that structure back in your life, because your life been structured like that for 10 plus 12
Yep.
plus
Right,
years. Like
exactly.
that stuff takes so much, like mentally for me. Like if I don't have that structure, like stuff feels all over the place. Yeah.
Facts, because that was like you said, it's basically like they was managing us the whole
Yeah.
time. Now it's like we gotta manage ourselves.
Yeah.
So now it's definitely like still get confusing now. I still get yelled at from my pops. He's like, "Yo, why you do this? Why you do?" I'm like, "Man,
I ain't have to worry about that.
Yeah, he be on me. But what advice would you have to give to the youth athletes that's trying to be in your position, going to college?
Oh, this is a hard one. Hard but easy.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say what I kind of started with, keep the main thing the main thing. If you love it and you want to do it and you're passionate about it, keep that the main thing and just work towards it every single day. Because in basketball and in life, consistency is key. And you're going to get out what you put into anything. So I just feel like you gotta know your priorities. You gotta know what you want out of life and go get it. It sounds like repetitive, but like if you really work hard for something, you will get exactly what you're looking for. Like God don't miss nobody, and if it's yours, He already know it's yours. You just gotta go get it.
For me, one thing I always tell like people's kids when they come talk to me, like so I had incidents where parents feel like I work there and they bring their kids there. I always tell people like, one thing I wish I would have known sooner in my career is to train my mind just as much as I train my body. Because I feel like the higher up you get, yes, like you may physically be up to par to perform, but if mentally you're not in a place to execute, it's gonna be a detriment to your performance. And so like I always tell people to train your mind just as much as you're training your physical body, because it's a muscle that people forget because it's on the inside. You don't see it. It's not a tricep, it's not a bicep, but like train your mind, like create space for you to deal with that, and like your confidence will build. Like some people struggle with performance because they're just not confident in themselves. That's a mental thing, so like that's one thing I always preach to them, like yes, work hard, but like make space and time to like train your mind as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what was your most memorable game in college? Was it your 20-30 point, or have y'all ever played each other? Let me ask that.
We did, but she was hurt.
Oh yeah.
They won, obviously. But my most memorable would probably be, obviously that Robert Morris game. But one that won't leave me is senior night when I had transferred to UMBC my grad year. We weren't that good. I'm going to just be honest. Especially coming from a winning program with Mount to UMBC, we weren't good. But we still had a chance to make the playoffs. Got fouled, few seconds left. I needed to make 2 free throws, send it to overtime. I guess we missed one. I missed one. Ends the season, basically. It stuck with me because I'm like, dang, I let a lot of people down, but it's like, however it was meant to be, it was meant to be. So I think that's the one I remember the most. Obviously not a happy memory, but I remember it.
That's you.
Lord. Best memory in college? It has probably nothing to do with the plan at all. It's probably just like those times like where like the team is just something funny just going on, like those moments where like you actually bonding with your teammates. Like my freshman year was really good actually, but like that locker room, like sometimes it was good, sometimes it was great. So we used to do like team bonding stuff, and it would like be some of the funniest memories. Like little stuff your coach don't know y'all trying to sneak out, go get some pizza, cause they try to make y'all eat salad for dinner. Like, bro, we hungry. Just little stuff like that. Like those memories you don't get back. Like funny times. Like it's like when you grow up, like people continue to grow. You got more responsibilities. You don't get time to just be around people and just enjoy them. That's how I feel. You just gotta be present.
Exactly.
So like those moments, I feel like that's what I really remember the most. Like who was there for me, like when I needed them, or like who I could go to for a good laugh, or going to the calf and just chilling, you know, like
Yeah, the
stuff
calf
like
used to be
that.
fun.
Right. I
Calf used to be
remember
fun.
one of my best memories. I ain't even playing the game, but it's funny because we took a trip down to Utah, right? And it was cold as I don't know what. We're playing up in the mountains, and the other quarterback, he wasn't doing good, and it was like, put Isaiah, like the fans on the other team that we played to, they like, put Isaiah Robinson in, he sucks, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, I don't even know them, like, they going crazy. And then they made a sign, they was like, put number 7 in so y'all can win. So they was like, come sign it. I'm like, no, I'm trying to lock into the game. They're like, come on. I'm like, all right, we made a big play, so I'm like, all right, come on, I signed it. Next play, interception. I'm like, oh man, if we lose, it's over with. I know I'm gonna get yelled at. But I was like, that's actually a fun memory because it's like, bro, I didn't even play, but just the experience of just being around the guys and things like that was fun for sure.
Yeah.
So, what was your guys' biggest inspiration growing up?
Inspo, probably off key, but definitely my mom. She was definitely came from more of a troubled home, more of a troubled background, kind of grew up low income. She was the third out of 3 kids, which isn't a lot, but for her in that moment, it was a lot. She graduated high school pregnant with my brother, went on, still got her degree. Now she's making 6 figures, and I feel like I had a pretty good childhood. I never lacked anything. So definitely my mom, it was more like that. Don't matter where you come from, no matter what you're going through, like you can keep going and you can do it too type mindset. So she definitely instilled that in me.
Me, and this might sound weird, but like everything is internal for me. Like I get inspired, like I get motivated by other people's stories, seeing what they overcame. Well, like for me, it's just like I wanted to prove to myself like this is something I can do. I feel like I beat a lot of statistics. So like for myself, it's just like it's me versus me, you know. So I feel like I inspire myself a lot, to be honest.
She definitely do.
Love it. So if you could go back in time to your younger self, what piece of advice would you give yourself?
This one hard. I think I would just say keep going. Like every day is something different, but just keep going. If you don't stop, it won't stop.
Yeah.
Just keep going, keep pushing, keep tagging, keep walking, keep talking, keep breathing, keep living. Whatever you doing, just keep going. Because if you stop, that's the only time you really fail. Like you gotta keep going.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Marathon, not a sprint.
Actually, it's a marathon. Personally, I would just say like it's gonna get better. Like you know, like it's
That's
okay.
why I love tomorrow.
Yeah, oh God. Like Glow said, like it's gonna get better. Like it's okay. Like this may be where you are right now, and this may be what's going on right now, but it's gonna get better. Like you're gonna be in situations you never could envision yourself, and rooms you never was gonna envision yourself. So it's just like just keep going. Like I feel like we both kind of big on that saying, like just keep on going. Like.
So in the world where social media is a big asset now in the sports realm, like we talked about earlier, what are some things like athletes can do to get their name out that you can think of?
Well, social media is the way. I feel like, I mean, kind of looking back on it, I didn't realize the amount of power social media had until like now when I'm seeing other athletes like pop on my For You page or on Instagram or Twitter, and obviously it's blown, but I feel like that social media is the way. That's the way I would say keep going. Social media is the biggest platform you can have. It's your biggest asset. It's a free asset at that. So social media.
Use it to your advantage. And like I feel like, and it's something I'm still learning and actively contributing to. Like don't be afraid to just put yourself out there. Like you never know who's gonna see it or who you might inspire. Like sometimes like what you go through is not for you. You get what I'm saying? It might be for somebody else. And like it's kind of like almost it's selfish of you to sit on the knowledge you got, or it's selfish of you to not, you know, share your story or whatever, because you never know. Maybe that you went through this to inspire somebody else. Because at some point in time, somebody inspired you. So it's like, just put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. Like a lot of people, who cares if they don't like what you got going on? It's a million, billion, gazillion other people that don't know you and it's gonna support you. Crazier than the people that
I feel like that's what TikTok do naturally.
Yeah, like bro, just
for sure.
If that's something you want to post it, bro. You never know what's gonna come of it. Like it's people that make money to eat Chipotle.
Yep, they do.
Fact.
You looking on there
Don't
like,
you think when they made their first
but it be
video
weird though,
showing
cause like I watch they stuff. Like I'll sit for 15 seconds and watch them eat Chipotle, and it's like she making money off this, y'all, cause she posted it. So it's like
this is just like, bro, get out your head and just do it.
for sure.
For sure. So I can't let y'all leave without asking a question about money. That's a sports and finance topic.
Okay.
So who educated you guys with financial literacy, and what does financial literacy mean to you?
I'll be honest. I mean, outside of my circle, nobody. Like, it was never just like, I have a teacher that's just going to sit down with me. I kind of learned off one experience, but two, my mom, she gives me the best advice ever in terms of money, credit, assets, investing. Outside of her, though, I didn't have anybody in my corner that's just telling me what decisions to make with money. It's kind of like, somebody just told me the other day they're financially anxious. And I said, well, that's probably the worst way to be. It's like, you don't want to be scared to make it or spend it. But I'll say my mom.
Myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, you still learning.
Like, I'm still learning a lot, but, like, one thing about me, like, I'm into so, like, many topics. Like, I research things. I'll go on rabbit holes. And so, like, I research different things. I like to listen to people that are experts in whatever they do so I can, like, get game. And I'm not afraid to ask. If I don't know something, then hey, can you help me with this? Like, or what do you think on this? Like, I like to lean on, like, my friends that I trust. One of my good homies, her name's Dada. She was my point guard while I was at Georgetown. She gives me a lot of game because she's somebody who's, like, into real estate, and she works for Deloitte. Like, she does a lot of crazy stuff. Like, she's been a big person that's always gave me game about, like, ownership and, like, knowing how to use your money and, like, how you actually budget. Like, she's taught me a lot of those skills, too, I would say.
Good.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's actually why I created Off the Field Financial Services. So everybody that's out there looking on what financial literacy is and how to actually have the average person go to a millionaire in just a couple years, that's what I do. So tap in Off the Field.
Tap in with my boys. Tap in with my boys.
Tap in.
So now we get to the hot seat question of the interview. Y'all scared for this one?
I'm scared.
I gave you the easy trivia, so I gotta get.
Yeah. We gonna switch on
All
that.
right, let her have it.
Ah, man, they both not easy though. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, first one, Mo. Share the most embarrassing moment from your childhood that still makes you laugh today.
Mo got plenty. She told me about it.
think so. Embarrassing, bro. You probably know better than I do. Anything come to your head?
From your childhood? Probably when you went to McNamara and you wore those braids and you didn't think it was embarrassing in that moment, but looking back on it, you were like, bro, what was I doing, bro?
No, bro, I got one. When I was younger, bro, I don't know, I used to be like kind of goofy, like everybody thought it was funny, but like I think I was just a goofy, bro. Like I remember one time I went to PE class and I had this long shirt on and I had on them old pants that got the buttons on the side. I stood up, ripped my leg. And it looked like I ain't have on no pants, so everybody was laughing. I'm like, what y'all laughing at? Like, bro, I got on pants. What y'all talking about? Like, just dumb stuff, bro. Like, I was just goofy. I don't know.
That's funny. Now you time, Terk. Share a funny or bizarre talent you possess that not many people know about.
A talent? One that's not. It's not really bizarre, but my thumb can go kind of far back like this. Like I'm pretty double jointed in my fingers. Like I could do a lot of different things. That's a little different.
It creep Mo out.
Like I'll go touch my mom like this. She's like, "Detective, stop!" And I'm like, "What? There's nothing wrong." But I'll say like that type of thing for sure.
Okay. Any last statements or quotes you guys want to say to your fans and supporters out there?
Just keep going.
Yeah.
If you take anything from it, just keep going.
Keep going. Don't give up. It get better. Everybody is more like than you think. Like, don't judge people, bro. Just give off love. Give off good vibes.
I appreciate you girls for coming on today.
Thank you for
You're a
having
real
us,
one.
man.
For sure. Got to dab it up on the way out.